Good afternoon. It's once again 5:30 on a Friday in the PM, and I'm always delighted to be here and to talk and listen to you, the people. We call this show Listening to the People, and the reason we decided to call it that is because if you listen, you learn. If you don't listen, you don't learn. And so listening is an art. You know, there's some people who listen, there are others who talk. And I try to do both. I want to begin by once again thanking someone. I opened up the Chicago Crusader, and in there is a full-page ad that was put in by St. Anthony's Hospital, sort of acknowledging the life as well as the death of my grandson who was killed. I didn't know it was there, and it I like to read, and so I read everything I can get my hands on, and I quite frankly read every black community newspaper that I can get my hands on, because by reading you run into stuff. I did not know that St. Anthony Hospital had put this full page in the Crusader. And it says, how can you keep hope alive and help them to believe that tomorrow has the potential of being better than yesterday, and that there is a brightness for them in the future that they currently don't see. U.S. Rep. Danny Davis. Let us move forward and support the youth in ways that spark change. Investing in our children is an investment for our future. In memory of Javon Wilson and all others who have suffered a loss to violence. So I want to thank St. Anthony's Hospital. I want to thank the Chicago Crusader newspaper in terms of that remembrance. And I'm not going to dwell on it, because I'm actually getting beyond it. I'm getting over it. I'm getting to the point where I can talk about it without feeling a lump in my throat or a pain in my chest. But I do want to thank them for that. I also want to thank all of the people who showed up last Sunday night over at the Greater Little Rock Missionary Baptist Church, where Reverend Davenport is the pastor, because we had a tribute, that is, the West Side Black elected officials had a tribute to all of the families who had experienced violence and lost a loved one. Corey Foster just lost his son. Corey's a young fellow who used to work for Governor Pat Quinn and now is in the Community Affairs Department at Commonwealth Edison. His 16-year-old son was gunned down a few nights ago walking from his girlfriend's home, I understand, back home. He had just graduated from high school and had just enrolled in Triton College out on the west part of Cook County. So we want to extend our condolences to that family, to Corey and all of his family. There also was a young boxer the other day who was killed. Bad Boy Williams, I think they say his name. But it turns out that he was a cousin of one of the people who worked for me. He was Gerard Moore's cousin. And I want to extend condolences to Gerard and his family. We also have a couple of events, but I want to go ahead and take this call before I get into those. So, caller, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Congressman Davis?
James, I am doing fine. How are you?
Okay, Keanu West, right?
Warm. That's the first.
Yeah. And I pay my light and gas bill. I'm keeping one, but Congressman Davis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want you to have a nice holiday. You and your the lady who called me, the lady who answered the phone. But Congressman Davis, you know Keanu West, right?
Yes, sir.
And Donald Trump, when they talk about what happened in the black community, but Congress, the other country fight each other, and I don't hear the media always talk about crime. Okay, what I'm trying to say, Congress, then when he got with Kanye West, I always talk about what happened in the black community. What happened in other countries? And they be fighting each other, they be killing each other. It's not only only the black community. It's all over.
You are so right. And that's why I often say that peace is worth working toward.
Cause God got the last word. I want you and that lady who asked the phone, I want y'all to have a nice holiday. Merry Christmas to y'all.
Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa and all of the days and periods that we celebrate in this season. It's a time when people get warm and feel.
I'm keeping warm, and I think the media is going too far when they always talk about black on black crime. I think they're going too far, Colonel Davis.
Well, I think you are correct in terms of knowing and saying that crime affects everybody. Black, white, green, Santa Claus, the reindeer, doesn't matter. But thank you for your.
And I hope y'all have a nice New Year, Colonel Davis.
You. Great. I also wanted to give a shout out to the seniors in Maywood, Illinois. I attended their Christmas party the other night, and it was just incredible. I mean, chestnuts were just roasting all over the place. The holiday spirit was great, and so we just had a wonderful time there. And earlier today, I had a great time because I was out at Chicago State University, and they were having an international business development and fair, and they had some great presenters. I had a chance to make some comments at the luncheon, and the food was all African food. It was good, and so I want to put a shout out to Chicago State University. But one of the things I urged the group as we got ready to leave is to do everything in their power that they can to help keep Chicago State University alive. And there are many different things you can do. If you're looking for a college or university to attend school, why not try Chicago State University? Adults who think they've gotten too old to go to school, you don't have to believe that. As a matter of fact, a lady used to work for me, Mary Alice Henry, we called her. She started college after she was 70 years old. She started at Daniel Hale Williams University, and she graduated from that college. So you don't really get too old. Mo Henry used to have a way of saying things, and she used to say that she had a degree in CSTA. And I remember somebody asking her, what did that stand for? And she said it stood for common sense, talent, and ambition. She also had not learned to drive a car, and she was 70 years old. She came into the office one day and she was grumbling. And I said, Mom, what are you grumbling about? She said, well, the person who gives me a ride was a little upset because I was a few minutes late. She said, well, they won't have to be worried about me because I'm not going to be riding with them. I said, well, how are you going to get here? She said, well, you'll see. About 2 weeks later, she asked me to come and look out the window, and I saw a little white Nova, Chevrolet Nova, sitting there. And she said, you see that? I said, yeah, Mom, what else? I see a car. I said, whose is it? She said, it's mine. I said, well, who drove it up here? She said, I did. So they ain't gonna have to worry about me riding with them. So you don't get too old. I mean, that's my point. That when you stop learning, it's almost as if you stopped living. And so if you stop learning, you've stopped living. And when you stop living, of course, you're dying. And so I would urge you, no matter what your age, find yourself a way to get some more information, some more knowledge. And I couldn't think of a better place than Chicago State University. We still have activities going on. We have coming up on Thursday, December the 22nd, we have our annual Christmas party. And we try not to get too heavy into issues and all of that. Everything, of course, is free. And we just go and eat, eat, eat. That's going to be Thursday, December the 22nd at the Columbus Park Field House, 500 South Central. Please join us. We won't work it too hard. We're just going to eat, eat, eat. And of course, we have another wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let me show you what this looks like. Yeah, this overhead. That's it. That's our annual Christmas party. Usually 5 to 6 to 7, 800 people come. And we'll be looking forward to you. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to bring anything. You don't have to give anybody anything. You can just come and eat and eat and eat. Even though it's the holiday, violence and all those things go on. So we can't stop, and we won't stop, and we won't even attempt to stop, because we have to keep searching for solutions to all of these problems. On December the 31st, 2016, the last day of the year, from 11 o'clock a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. at the Greater St. John Bible Church, 1256 North Waller, where Reverend Ira Ackrey is the pastor. We are having a discussion, a brainstorming meeting, and we're looking at the whole issue of how do we stop violence, how do we reduce it. And I wish you'd call in if you've got some ideas and let us know how you think we can reduce violence. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman, and it's a great day to be on God's green earth. And it's just a wonderful day. And Merry Christmas to all your listeners. And please have a safe holiday. You just said something I've been preaching for years. Let me tell you, man could take the roof off your head. He could take the clothes off your back. He could take the money out of your pocket. But one thing he cannot take is knowledge. It's better to have knowledge than to have nothing. No knowledge, you're just walking dead. So it's a choice that people need to take. Some people don't want to have knowledge. It's okay. You know, I mean, that's their life. But anyone that want a life, please gather in all the knowledge that you can. Read the ABC book. Read everything that you can. Let me get out the air, Congressman, and let me
Just tell you, like to read the Bible. I read all kind of things. Every once in a while, so, but I will read. Usually, with something that I personally find very helpful in the Bible. And I wish we could get our children to read the book of Proverbs more. I wish we could get our parents to read Proverbs, because I think there's some good advice in there about how to raise children and about how children should relate to their parents. What do you think about Proverbs as a good book? Our call is gone, so okay. Well, I would encourage anybody and everybody to read that book. It makes an awful lot of sense, and you can give us a call and talk about any things that you want to talk about. We know that our county elected officials have been installed. Those who have won elections and they've now taken office. And I'm wishing for all of them very successful times in America. I'm also looking at an editorial in the Crusader that says criminal just us in America. And what this article talks about is that in so many instances when we talk about crime and criminal activity, we are actually talking about just us and not justice. We're talking about just us. Just us meaning that you spell it J-U-S-T dash U-S. And so it becomes just us. I go to court sometimes and look around, and I tell you, all I see is just us. Or I will read statistics and they're one-sided, just us. What the editorial in the Crusader says is that last year in North Charleston, South Carolina, former police officer Michael Slager, not Flager, was shown on video shooting a fleeing unarmed black man, Walter Scott, who not once turned to face him or threaten him in any way. The video was circulated widely on social media and in television news programs. Recently, Slager was tried for murder, but the trial ended in a hung jury. 11 of the jurors were white and 1 was black. Interestingly, in a move that was very unusual, the judge in the case, Judge Newman, read a letter written by the lone dissenter before the verdict that stated, "I still cannot, without a reasonable doubt, convict the defendant. At the same time, my heart does not want to have to tell the Scott family that the man who killed their son, brother, and father is innocent. But with the choices, I cannot and will not change my mind." Judge Newman rejected the hung jury and ordered further deliberation to take place on December 12th. Slager fired 5 shots into the fleeing Walter Scott, alleging that he was acting in self-defense. Because Scott grabbed his taser, This was later shown to be false, and it is very clear that Scott had nothing in his hands as he frantically fled Slager. The shooting was recorded by a bystander on his cell phone, Fedin Santana. Initially, Santana was reluctant to release the video because of fear of reprisal, which happened recently in another killing of a black man by the police. The person ended up being sentenced to prison after a period of harassment. Santana's video revealed a number of lies told by the police, including one report that said that Slager attempted to resuscitate Scott. The video disputed this claim. Santana eventually released the video and an outcry for Slager's request for trial. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman. Let me say something. You was asking me about Proverbs and the Bible and whatnot. It's one of the greatest books to read. I think everyone should. That was one of the most important books that you do need to read. But people who read the book, you'd be surprised. Here come another word that they truly don't understand, and that is comprehension. If you give them one paragraph to read, 10 people, you're going to have different 10 people have different what they read. Listen, books are the most wonderful thing. But see, there's another book that you also need to have, and that's what we call a dictionary. Don't always think that you know everything. Sometimes underline it, write it down, look it up, and you're going to understand it. Let me tell you, Congressman, I like that One Day Bible. That's a nice book. You can read every single day. Every single day it gives you everything what you need to do for that day. But again, comprehension. Comprehension. You know, I don't get on ministers or priests or things of that nature, but one could read one thing, another will read the same thing, and you're going to have two different stories what people say. Again, comprehension. You got to give the right stuff out, the right knowledge, but you got to have a little comprehension to understand what you have read and what you have interpreted. Congressman, you're a hell of a good person, a good man, a very scholar and knowledgeable person, a good philosopher. Listen, keep doing what you've been doing, man. That day come, he got something good for you. And the people who don't listen, well, those are the same people going to be there until the end of time, and they're going to be waiting in line to try to get something for nothing. Let me get out there again so I can hear your response.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate your comments, because for me, right now between today and Christmas, I am going to try to do all the good that I can for as many people as I can and for as long as I can. And I think if more of us would do that, we would find a way to make our world, not somebody else's world, not somebody else's street, not somebody else's alley, but to make our world a better place in which to live. Try and reconcile with somebody that you may have had some distance from during the holidays. Maybe you and your neighbor haven't been talking. Maybe you and your cousin had a little argument at the last family reunion. Or maybe you and your coworker got into it over space at work. But just try and do something between now and Christmas that adds to the reconciliation of mankind, of womankind, of personkind, and then be able to say that you have helped bring peace and goodwill to all men. Have a great week. We'll see you next Friday. Thank you.